Pause. Giant lobster appears on screen.
Hey, what about me?
That quote is without a doubt the funniest thing that has ever been uttered in human history. No cartoon slapstick has ever even come remotely close to the amount of comedy put into that quote that my friend and I produced that very night that we dubbed an episode of the Cuphead Show. I'm going to give a retrospective dive into why exactly this is the funniest thing that has ever been said by any human being ever. And it all starts with someone named Ludwig. Allow me to introduce him. This is the man who started off our absolutely wild ride. Now, the only way I can properly divulge the information of exactly how this all played out is if I first explain the plot of the episode, the significance of everything in the episode, and then I give you all context as to what led up to the quote. So that leads me to my first section of this video, the plot. This episode revolves around Mugman wanting to learn how to play the piano from his piano instructor, Ludwig, the piano teacher extraordinaire. Now, Mugman is trying to train to become a better piano player so that he can participate in a piano competition that's happening at the Inkwell Theater that will have a grand prize of $10,000. And Ludwig thinks that Mugman has the potential of being something great, so he takes Mugman and proceeds to try to teach him to play the piano properly. He has one of the most obnoxious entrances I have ever seen for a cartoon character in all of human history, to which he then takes off a pair of gloves, looks at Mugman, puts on another pair of gloves, and they enter the house. Now, one key piece of lore that I think I should mention is right before they enter the house, Ludwig looks at Mugman and tells him how much he loathes him because he's jealous that Mugman is new rising talent in the world when Ludwig is already down at the bottom of his career. Ludwig's been doing this for years, and Mugman's gonna be the fresh new blood out in the town to get some new money for doing all this music junk, and Ludwig is out of it all? I mean, what the hell? However, Ludwig still decides that he wants to teach Mugman as he wants to inspire the newest wave of musical talent in the world. As you can probably imagine, Ludwig saying that he loathes Mugman was a catalyst for this joke being created in the first place. But I digress, we pan into the actual house where Ludwig is trying to tell Mugman how to play piano. As a beginning piece, Ludwig tells Mugman to start playing chopsticks on the piano as it's a very simple piece, so Mugman looks and he says, "Oh, this is too easy," he then fails to play it. Cuphead walks in holding a bucket of Crawdads, which is extremely important to the plot after this point. He then looks at Mugman, realizes that he's not really doing so well with this, and he suggests something different. So Cuphead comes up and he starts playing the beginning of Chopsticks perfectly, and then he starts soloing, and this solo is 100 times more impressive than anything that he or Ludwig could have ever accomplished. Cuphead just apparently has this natural piano talent that nobody knew about, judging by the looks on everyone's faces when he started doing it. So right after that point, he looks over and he's like, well, I guess that's that. He thinks that they're all weird, he grabs his Crawdads, takes a bite of one, and he leaves. See, now it's at this point in time where Ludwig entirely betrays Mugman. Once Ludwig realizes that Cuphead's actually a much better piano player than Mugman, despite seemingly having no prior training, Ludwig immediately takes up Cuphead as his new apprentice and leaves Mugman in the dust. Mugman goes into an entire little stupor, he's all sad, he's really upset about it, honestly. Elder Kettle has a chat with him, and then of course, Mugman gets jealous of Cuphead. So the natural thing that he resorts to is thinking that he should just kill Cuphead. So Mugman devises a plan that he will literally go in after hours and hook up a piano trap, and not just one where like the piano will explode or something if Cuphead touches the wrong key. No, he will play it, and then at the very end of his piece, a piano will fall from the ceiling, killing him. There is at least 3 times in this entire season where Mugman literally goes insane and tries to kill someone. I'm not even making that up. He legitimately tries to kill people. But I digress. Cuphead didn't actually end up going to the piano event because he realized that, he took Mugman's whole thing right out from beneath his feet without even realizing it. And Mugman was really sad about this because it was his dream to be doing piano things and going out and having just a good old time playing music. So for Cuphead to come in with basically no prior knowledge and just just steal it from under his feet. It was kind of upsetting for him. So he stayed home, and then he realized that he set up the piano trap, and Cuphead was not going to be there. But don't worry, someone did actually get hit by it. It was Ludwig, because Ludwig actually betrayed Cuphead too, where he stole his song, went into the piano concert, basically won, but then immediately after gets crushed by the piano on the live radio. Cuphead then realizes that that trap was meant for him and just doesn't even care. He's just completely content. He's like, yeah, I would have done the same thing. Now, I bet you're wondering at this point how exactly the quote ties into this. Well, remember earlier when I said that the Crawdads were important? Well, this was due to the fact that at the start of this episode, Bugman was talking to Cuphead about how he wanted to live the big life, how he would be with Ludwig, he'd be playing music, he'd be doing the more sophisticated things in life, like having, nice dinners with people and eating lobster. Now, this entire thing ends up going into this bit where instead of eating lobster, Cuphead is eating crawdads, which are basically tiny lobsters. And they end up saying this multiple times throughout the episode. Cuphead and Elder Kettle both offer Mugman crawdads, and he gets really upset because he'd rather have lobster with Ludwig, but it just doesn't end up happening. But Cuphead does have lobster with Ludwig, and this makes Mugman even more furious, which leads him to then try to set up the trap to kill his own brother. But at the end of the episode, there's this entire bit where afterwards, Mugman realizes what he did was a little bit wrong, and, he might not be able to eat lobster with Ludwig, but he can at least eat crawdads with his brother. So Cuphead offers him a crawdad, and then Cuphead looks at him and says, hey, you know what? Crawdads are kind of like tiny lobsters. And then Mugman's like, yeah, they are.
And then out of nowhere, a giant crawdad appears. And then he goes, who you callin' tiny?
What the hell? He comes out of literally nowhere. He was not in the episode at all. It was literally just cartoon logic. Like, he appeared out of literally nowhere. And that's why the bit of us dubbing it was so damn funny, because the thing that we did also came out of nowhere, but I'll explain that furthermore later on. But speaking of dubbing, that brings me into my next portion of this video, what we actually do for our dubs. Allow me to introduce you to my friend and I's dubbing group, the CC. So I'm just going to preface this by saying I'm recording this in my closet a lot later on than I was recording those other bits back there, so this is a little bit overdue, but I'm going to get it done anyway because this video has a lot of effort put into it. It's a nice little area here, I got some nice acoustics. I got my mic right here. Hello. But I'm going to give you a little rundown of what we do. See, my business partner and I, we love to just dub things here and there. Whatever really comes to mind. It could be movies, TV shows, cartoons, doesn't matter. It's super fun regardless of what we do. We've even dubbed Deltarune once, which you wouldn't even think is possible, but we managed it, and it was funny. Like, really funny. We've done the Team Fortress 2 videos. We've done a bunch of other random content, just, that we've been really wanting to make for a while now. And in general, we've just had a lot of fun with it. Started a few years ago, we started going more and more after a while, and eventually we just started getting to a point where we would dub like every other night, and it was always just a whale of a time. Think like the Snap Cube dubs for like Sonic and all those other little bits that they do. It's kind of exactly like that, except with 2 people instead of a giant group. So we have a lot of roles that we take on during it. We have a lot of voices that we do. It's an impeccable little thing that we do. It's fantastic. So like any other day, we decided that we would dub the Cuphead Show because we had this whole little fixation on it for a while, and we love the show. It's super fun. It's super entertaining. It's just overall a really enjoyable show to watch, and we thought it would be just as fun to dub. Not only were we right about that, but we got the 2 best dubs that we've ever done out of literally anything ever. That of which being Release the Demons and The Piano Lesson. Release the Demons was entirely insane because we had like all of these random bits that were just super ridiculously funny and stupid, and obviously The Piano Lesson has to do with this quote being the funniest thing ever produced ever. Release the Demons just happens to hit home more for the both of us because it's so stupidly funny, but the one quote from this episode makes it the funniest thing ever uttered by anyone ever. And to show why it was so funny, I decided to hold an interview with my dub partner so that you can see exactly why it was just as funny as I say it is. So without further ado, we should begin. Now, I'm about to hold an interview with my business partner here, so I figured that I should probably get into the correct attire for something that's professional. Alright everyone, it's time. I hope you're all prepared for what happens next.
So, my face, it's gonna be blurred, right?
Yeah, of course. I make sure to keep all those precautions in place. Okay. I have a couple questions for you today. I've written them down on this here note card I have with me. If you'd answer just them in any way you'd please, I would very much appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay. So first off, I just have to ask, what made you think of something so funny at the end of that episode? What was going through your mind?
Well, as I was dubbing the episode, I knew that something was going to happen at the end, but I completely forgot it was what happened. So, sorry, as I was dubbing the episode, something was coming at the end, and I was trying to think of something special to end it off on.
Mm-hmm.
This was a very important episode, so I didn't have that time to think of a good thing to say at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So, as it was approaching rapidly, the moment, the first thing that came to my mind was to say, hey, what about me? As if the lobster has been there the entire time,
Yeah.
which he has not.
Uh-huh. I think that was a genius play in your book. It really did encapsulate... you okay?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. I think it really did just perfectly capture the absolute, like, comedic value of that whole episode as a whole. Like, everything in general just went really well, but that actually does transition into my next question relating to the dubbing in general. How did you get to where you are today for dubbing? Like, what did you have to go through to get into this mindset of just, like, pure comedic entertainment?
I have seen so many things, and heard even more things.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not what I have done, it's what I have seen to get to this point.
I see.
Plenty of illegal things, cut that out. I've been doing this all my life, and by that I mean 3 years.
Uh-huh.
And it all started off with a game series that led to much, much bigger things that went on to TV shows, movies, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And that first moment, back in September of 3 years ago, has led up until this specific moment.
Uh-huh.
Everything has led up to this moment. This is the most important moment in history.
I think I agree with you. This is truly one of the hallmarks of human evolution and achievement. It truly is fascinating how everything has happened in the ways it has. It's truly beautiful. Now, this next question is actually related to the episode itself, and it's coupled with the fact that you voiced Ludwig, yes, in that episode?
Oh, yes, I have.
Okay. These next two episodes are actually very, very related to that point. I was gonna ask, do you think that Ludwig survived the piano fall at almost the end of the episode?
Yes, I do think so.
Mm-hmm.
We have had moments in the past where people have been set on fire, people have been tossed and thrown off cliffs, shattered into pieces, and they were all fine by the end of it. So, using that logic and using cartoon logic, as in no one ever really dies,
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that he definitely did survive that incident.
Okay. Good. I think that you are very correct on this point. Cartoon logic is very important in this whole series, and overall, we never really see people properly die. They always end up coming back. So that, everything okay?
Yeah. No, go on.
Okay, cool. Okay, we're on the next question now. So let me ask you, this is something I've been personally wondering for a little bit now. Do you think that the giant Crawdad will make an appearance in season 3?
Now, I can't say for sure, but I do hope, because he's a very small character.
Mm-hmm.
While yes, his size is very, very large in show,
Yeah.
his role in the show is extremely small. He only appeared once, and little to no one knows about this thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's very likely.
Uh-huh. I think that would make sense. As unfortunate as it is, he was a very, very, quickly thrown in character, kind of just out of nowhere. As you were saying before, he just kind of came out of the blue, like the ocean blue even. So he really was just kind of there. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't show up, but we can hope. What one can hope. So this is one of the latter questions too. Who do you think out of both the episode and the show, you can have two answers to this question, would be your favorite character? So favorite character from the episode in question and from overall the show, if you could pick one that you voiced or anyone voiced.
I would say for that specific episode, probably Ludwig, because it's just so easy to get into that role. It's so easy to be him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the most alive I've ever felt. And as for the entire series, I would say probably King Dice.
Mm-hmm. What makes you say Dice? He doesn't have as big of a role as I feel he should. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
I agree with you there. He really does not have as much screen time as he should. I'm hoping they improve upon that in season 3. Now, in relation to you saying that for the episode that Ludwig was your favorite, I should probably ask, what was it like to voice him?
As I saw that little poem, I was like, this might be a bit challenging. But the moment I saw that foot step out, I felt myself overcome with bloodiness, just pure pretentiousness.
Uh-huh.
And I thought to myself, this is it. I'm coming home. This role is made for me. They made this character just so I could voice it now.
Mm-hmm. So you really did get into character, truly. That's incredible. Like you can just switch like directly from just you directly over to Ludwig.
Thank you.
Oh, no, it's no problem at all. Is there anything else? Oh, whoa, whoa.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I had some troubles. Go on.
Oh, sorry, sorry, I got concerned there for a moment. So overall, I do have one other question relating to the Ludwig bit. Is there anything that you would care to say that further elaborates on how it was to voice this character, to get into him?
Oh yeah, I think that this is the most important thing to know. Personally, when I was... As I saw that big limo come into screen, I knew that my time was almost up. I knew that I had to voice him. However, I was like, okay, this isn't going to be much of a problem, considering that we're supposed to be switching off on him. But then he exited that limo, and I felt myself overcome with pure pretentiousness and pure, just pure class. And I was like, I am Ludwig. I am him. And then I got into the role immediately. I knew what I was doing. I felt like I was speaking from the heart whenever I was speaking as him. It was a perfect role for me, and I felt hypnotized by him. I knew that I had to perfect this role and perfect this episode because it was such an important episode since it had him. And whenever it came time for the role to switch off, I couldn't stop there. I had to keep going, so I did. Although I was supposed to switch off, I just couldn't. I kept my role and kept speaking because I felt like that was right, and I felt like I couldn't stop because I was so into being him. I was him.
So we're almost nearing the end of this interview. Luckily, because I'm sure you're a very busy guy. I do think that it is a very important thing too, coupled with the fact that you voiced Ludwig. How was it voicing the other characters in the episodes, like flowing between them?
Everyone else was just a minor role considered to the role that was the great Ludwig,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah, of course. I mean, everything else doesn't even hold a candle to the greatness that he had. So that makes total. Huh? You okay?
Do you see him?
Him?
Yeah.
I can't say I do. No, what's up?
Oh, okay. Just continue. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. The final question. What? Okay. Do you think that compared to all of the other dubbing episodes that we've had, that this one is one of the best?
I would put it up there, but I think Release the Demons was our top one and was the best in history. But I would definitely put episode 7, season 2, Adolescence dubbing up there.
Okay, gotcha. Is it solely due to the quote that happened at the end?
I think that is the funniest thing to have ever happened in history, ever.
I getcha. Okay, that makes total sense. Well, I think that about wraps up this whole interview. Thank you so much for giving me some of your time.
Yeah, Yeah, it's going, no problem.
Perfect. All right. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Oh, fuck.
Huh? Oh my god. Oh my god. So in order to recap and end off the video, I think the best way to explain things is that we made a whole little dub, we had a whole goofy bit behind it, and honestly, it was just super fun overall. We made a plot for the episode that progressively builds upon itself until it eventually gets to Mugman being all upset at Ludwig, as it was in the regular episode, but then we made it so that, well, it was just really stupid at the end, to a point where we took a bit that was actually in the actual episode and we turned it into something extremely stupid just because we knew it was there. But I can't take credit for that quote, I have to give that all to my business partner. So to that I say thank you. And thank you for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and honestly, I thought it was a lot of fun to make, so I'm really glad that I'm getting back into things and getting things all edited up again. So until next time, I really do hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all later.
Someone help me!
Bye now.